Okay, book. It's pretty simple now. Last name, year, book title, and publisher. Used to have to put the place of publication in there, but no longer. We don't have to do it. UR or DOI if it's electronic. Web page, last name, initials, if available. Sometimes on web pages we don't have that, so we're going to put in here website sponsor, the organization, and the title of the page, site name, and then the URL. Sometimes putting the citing by the title of the page might be a little easier. We have that flexibility with if there's no named author. But if there's no named author, then a lot of times go ahead with the organization, the sponsoring organization. Okay, this is a big change that's come about in the last several years. Articles in digital periodicals with article numbers. So a couple variations here. You'll notice the date is a little bit different, right? So if it's published in the web environment, they'll usually give us the date of digital publication. It's preferable to use the full date. In in-text citations, you'll only use the year, but in the reference page, the full date is preferred. And the article number, you put the article number down here after the page numbers, right? So this takes the place of page numbers in a citation. I've included an important note here though. An article that number replaces the page numbers, but because most digital articles are available as PDF, if you cite it in text, put the page number because you'll have access to the PDF. Does that make sense? And I'll just throw this out here. If you have the option to get a PDF, always go with the PDF. Always grab the PDF rather than read it online. Okay, and online videos. Person or group that posted the video, publication or upload date. I have seen where that's been a little bit different. I believe that the upload date is usually preferred, but that's usually the only date you're going to get. So then the video title, video in brackets, where you got the video, and URL. So here's an example, just to show all this one. Ars Mard, 2017. Again, notice that in the date format again, right? First comes a year, comma, then the other part of the date. Flipped around from the way we'd usually do it in the States, right? The story of Skinhead with Don Letts, video, YouTube, and then okay. All right, I designed a little exercise for this, put some of this into practice. I encourage you to work with others on this. So if you've got the cheat sheet out, go ahead and do that. Yeah. Yes, I have something for it. Well, let's kind of progress there. Okay, so what I want you to do is I've given you 3 examples here. Figure out what kind of information source this is, and then what would be the order of elements. Unless risky times, this is a sort that I would have you do, but this is a safe way to do it given the current climate. So let's look at this first one. What kind of information source is this? Journal article. I heard somebody say, yeah, it's a journal article. So what would be the first element? Which number? 5, yep. What's going to come after that? 6, that's the date. All right, so seeing that the date is like this, what does that tell us already? What environment did the author encounter this source? Digital publication, yeah. right? Again, the quicker we can recognize these things, because once we start seeing it in other words, that's when it really starts to sink in with us, right? Okay, cool. So 5 and 6, what's the next one? Next element. 3, yeah, that's the title. Again, just noticing the difference in capitalization. Okay, what's the next element? 1, that's the journal title. And does it make sense? So like the 9, that's the volume. Does it make sense why that is italicized, but the issue is not? Is anybody fuzzy on that? Okay. Well, if nobody's saying anything, then I won't worry about it. Next element. 2, page numbers, right? And again, if it's in a journal, the position of that element is going to tell us page numbers. We don't have to put any other signifier in there. And then the last element. Yep, the DOI. Okay, let's look at the second one. This is a little bit trickier. It's a section of a book. So what would be the first element? What number would be the first element? 3. Yeah. So this is, in this situation, there was not a named author. It's an entry in West's Encyclopedia of Law. I just gave you a little clue there. But it was just, there's no named author. So we're going to go with the title of the section. I left the year attached to it, so it'd make it a little easier to see. What's the next element? No. 2, yeah, right. So 1, element 3, the title of the piece, the year of the piece, then where do we find it? Right. So, and again, I left this kind of expanded, so it'd be a little easier to pick out. So in S. Phillips and J. Layman editors, West's Encyclopedia of American Law. What's the next element? Yeah, right. This is part of the where do I find it information. This is, so in this one, it's second edition, volume 6, pages, these pages. And then that leaves, right, Gale Research is the publisher. That's the last element. Just again, call your attention to this. If it's part of a book, you do need to include the pages with this information and the PP with it, signifying again, where do I find it in the book? Alrighty, last one. What kind of source, information source is this? Video? Yeah, why number 1? Who made it? Yep, right. Who made it? When was it made? What is it? And where can I find it? Number 2, right? And again, this is in YouTube, it's a little more open. They'll give you the full publication date. In Vimeo, there's a link next to it, the date, and you have to click that to get all that information. What's next? Number 3, what is it? Nursing ethics, strategies to resolve top ethical dilemmas nurses face. What should go in the brackets? Video. Very good. Yeah. You used to have a lot of these signifiers in APA citations, but the more the profession gets used to being online, the fewer and fewer are necessary. But this one is one they've kept. What's next? Yep. Site of publication, and then last one, of course. Yeah. Right. Right. So once again, keep in mind this is the standard pattern is who made it, when was it made, what is it, and where can I find it? Occasionally, you're going to have a situation where you're going to start off with what is it? But that's usually, that's really an exception. Like I said, I've had a lot of students come back and tell me that understanding these questions, understanding the 4 questions really helped them kind of crack that code. Okay, we're up to 344. All right, since we already had a question about images, let's jump to that real quick. All righty. Let me start out with this. You mean I can change my mind? How many of y'all feel that if you turn in an outline or you submit a thesis, how many feel like you can't change from that? Be ready to kick that thing to the curb. Why is that? Why do professors, let me put it this way, why do professors like it when they see the outline change or the thesis changed? Yeah. I always like to tell students, you know, if you have to turn in a thesis or an outline, think of that as point A. Your journey is going to take you other places. Sometimes you'll still agree with your thesis, but but your understanding will be a lot deeper. Sometimes you get in there and you find, whoa, this is not what I think at all. Or the evidence does not support this at all. I've had students who come to me like midway through a paper and saying, wow, I really don't think what I used to think anymore. It's like, yay, you're learning. I do have this quick reminder though. You are on a deadline, so keep it in mind. You can only, right, at some point you have to settle down and say, okay, I need to finish this paper. But don't feel too tied to your thesis or outline ahead of time.